Bulgaria, a land of beauty. Legend has it that when the Almighty was giving land to the people on earth, the hard-working Bulgarian was busy working. By the time he went to claim his land, God had nothing left. He then decided to give the Bulgarian a piece of his own land, heaven. The moment you travel to the countryside of Bulgaria, this legend speaks for itself. Fertile land, lofty mountains, and the azure Black Sea make it a treat for the eyes. Flowers bathing in the sun fill the air with the fragrance of romance. Away from Sofia to the east lies a marvellous city on 3 hills, Plovdiv, the second largest city of Bulgaria. Initially a part of the Thracian Empire, it later came to be known as Philippopolis under the Greek reign and Tremontium under the Roman Empire, before becoming a part of the Bulgarian state. Hi, welcome to the show. I'm Katriona and I'm here in Plovdiv, which is approximately 100 kilometres away from the Bulgarian capital, Sofia. It's one of Europe's oldest cities and is deeply steeped with history and culture. And today I'm going to be showing you some of the best things that Plovdiv has to offer. Under the Roman Empire, Plovdiv blossomed with the construction of well-designed roads, a well-developed craft industry, and a highly developed urban infrastructure. In the distant past, it was situated on 7 hills, though today the 7th hill has subsided completely under the pavement of modern Plovdiv. Even today, the city has preserved its artefacts and ruins from early times. Cobblestone roads, walls of the old fortress, and ancient buildings still stand strong in old Bulgaria. These are like pages of a history book as you travel through them. One of the interesting sights from the Roman period is the amphitheatre, which lies in a natural depression between Taksim and Zambaz hills. The magnificent amphitheatre was probably built around 4,000 years back by Emperor Trajan. At that time, it had a capacity of around 7,000 spectators. Later, it was ravished by Huns and left in ruins, and over the years masked by earth. People were unaware of its existence till 1972, when a heavy landslide set the 15-metre thick curtain of earth aside to reveal the glorious structure underneath. The expensive materials and decorative artistry used in the construction clearly shows the social position the theatre enjoyed. To bring this mammoth masterpiece to light, it took more than 10 years of time and beastly labour. Even during that era, the seating arrangements of the audience was well organised. In every sector, the names of the city quarters were carved on the benches, indicating allotment of seats. After the renovation and restoration, the theatre now hosts concerts and events. The gladiator fights of the Roman era are recollected and celebrated with dance performances by people dressed as animals who invest several hours of practice for one evening of performance. The Seven Hills is where the journey of Plovdiv began. Legend goes that Zeus, the king of the gods, threw rocks at Poseidon, the god of the ocean, in anger. These rocks heaped together, forming the Seven Hills, where Plovdiv stands today. The Seven Hills are a symbol of Plovdiv, and the city was built over those 7 hills. The old town was built over 3 of those hills, and the fortifications you can see behind me were built during the 5th and 6th century. Walking around the town really feels like you've stepped back in time. In the centre of the old town is the Saints Constantine and Helena Church, which is one of the oldest churches here. It's named after the Emperor Constantine and his mother Helena. During the Ottoman rule, there was only a crumbling and broken small wooden church with a small entranceway. This was because the Ottomans placed major restrictions on the size of Christian churches. During that period, the church was destroyed and rebuilt many times. At the end of the 18th century, one of the last times the church was burned, the sanctuary was reduced to ruins. In 1830, a social activist, Valko Chalikov, managed to get permission from the Sultan to rebuild some of the Christian churches. The present church is one of them. The interiors are an example of the early Bulgarian Baroque style. The Saints Constantine and Helena Church is now a religious, historical and cultural landmark in the old town of Plovdiv. The spectacular frescoes and icons were painted by masters of the famous Bulgarian iconographic school between 1836 and 1840. What is this made of?
This is silk, but Bulgarian silk.
Wow. How old would this be?
This is silk from the end of 19th, the beginning of 20th century, from Plovdiv and the region around Plovdiv.
A great way to know the history of a city is by visiting old houses which have witnessed the culture of its dwellers since a very long time. Hi, Antoaneta.
Hi, Catriona. Welcome in Netkovic House.
Thank you very much.
Let me tell you a few words about this wonderful home.
Okay.
The house was built in 1863. The owner of this wonderful home was a rich merchant from Plovdiv, Nikola Netkovic. You'll see the double portrait, Mr. Netkovic, his wife, and they actually had one daughter. Let me show you around these rooms that are with no restoration.
Okay.
Okay, we start with this wonderful red room or the small guest room. Why the small guest room? Because every time the big hall was upstairs.
Oh, I see.
The big representative level. So in this red room, Mrs. Netkovic was inviting her friends over small ladies' parties, and they, over a cup of tea, coffee, they can sit here and they can talk about the new ladies' fashion advices coming from France, of course.
This is wonderful.
At the same time, In every house, which is part of the old Bulgarian tradition, the ceiling, the wood-carved ceiling, this is part of the tradition. It's different.
Yeah.
And every time the color and the composition of the room will be different.
Oh, okay.
So we have 3 medallions in this room. The first 2 are in memory of the birthplace of the family of Mr. Netkovic that is coming from Karlovo, a town, small town, situated north from Plovdiv.
Okay.
And the 3rd medallion is in memory of his commercial contacts with Vienna.
Wonderful. It's a beautiful room.
In this room, you have 2 hooks that were for the cradle.
Okay, so and the cradle would hang from the hooks?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah. Another very interesting thing that was connected with the history, the family history, is the dowry chest.
It's a beautiful chest. Now, it's got the date 1867. What is there a significance to that year?
Yes, in 1867, they got married.
Okay, and was that traditional that you would mark a gift of something like this on the marriage year?
Practically, the tradition is the dowry chest because if the family has a girl, they're making or buying a dowry chest. So
Okay.
if the family is rich, it won't be not simple, pure wooden, but it will be with leather, with much more details.
This is a very beautiful, detailed chest.
Absolutely. And all the embroidery in needlepoint, the future bride is bringing it as a heritage into the new home.
Okay.
And let me put some music.
And is this an original music box from the room?
Absolutely.
That's just wonderful.
This is the big party room.
Okay.
And of course, this is the special place for the musicians' balcony. We have 4 rooms in the upper floor, the master bedroom, the room for the girl, a small guest room, and the official study. Well, this is the master bedroom.
Okay.
But look at the ceilings first, because as you see, the ceilings are slightly painted.
Yes.
They're totally different from the ceilings we saw in the ground floor.
And is that a change of fashion that had come through?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's the new West European influence that was coming during the 60s, 70s of 19th century. At the same time, a wonderful idea are these walk-in closets, which look so modern even nowadays.
Yes, absolutely.
And let me show you some underwear.
Oh, wow. What is this made of?
This is silk, but Bulgarian silk.
Wow. How old would this be?
This is silk from the end of 19th, the beginning of 20th century, from Plovdiv and the region around Plovdiv.
It's in such good condition. It's unbelievable it's that old.
Absolutely. So, Plovdiv and the region around Plovdiv, because of the climate, we are cultivating the mulberry tree, which is the food of the silkworm.
Okay.
So, a small closed cycle of producing silk and a silk nightgown.
It's beautiful.
Okay, cotton.
Oh, wow. And how old would this one be? Similar?
It's similar.
Uh-huh.
And that, what looks like a machine made, is
Yes.
actually handmade. Look at how the gift
It's perfect.
and the skill.
Yeah, it's incredible.
And linen, of course, with silk. Of course, this is something unofficial. They don't wear it when they go outside. They were
Okay.
wearing just like in Europe.
Okay, so this is just indoors they would wear
Absolutely,
this.
absolutely.
It's still very, it seems quite formal because it's got sparkle and things through
yeah,
it.
with silk and linen. And of course, the bonnet is when you go at night to preserve the hairstyle at
course.
night. Okay, let me show you the study.
Brilliant.
This is the official study.
Okay.
This is actually the place where Mr. Netkovic was meeting his partners,
Okay.
talking about business, and of course, officially signing documents. But look at the furniture.
It's beautiful. So is the bookcase and the chairs and the desk all one set?
One set.
And where does it come from?
It comes from Poland, from
Okay.
Gdansk.
Okay, and what kind of wood is this?
This is Slavonic oak. So from the end of 19th century is the whole furniture, the whole set.
And would it have all been hand carved?
Absolutely.
It's beautiful.
Amazing.
Antoinetta, thank you so much for showing me around this beautiful home.
Well, the pleasure was mine.
Thank you. After scrolling through the pages of Plovdiv's history books, it's now time to head towards the modern-day city. Plovdiv has a modern and thriving city centre, with the river Maritsa cutting through it. The sports centre here is one of the largest of its kind in Eastern Europe, with facilities for water sports. They play host to many international competitions in rowing and kayaking. The ancestry of kayaks takes us back to the time when Eskimos used them as boats, on inland lakes, rivers and coastal waters to hunt. The first kayaks were made of animal skins, stretched on the skeletons of whales. The literal meaning of kayak is hunting boats. Gradually, kayaking turned into an adventure sport from a functional necessity. In 1936, it became a part of the International Olympic Games in Berlin. Kayaks today are found in a wide variety of materials and styles, and cherished as a water sport. Walking through the main street, which is called the Vanity Street, you can see the more modern side of the city. Plovdiv was an affluent city during the Bulgarian revival and home to educated, well-to-do people. They showcased their status by constructing mesmerising, ornate buildings